Acha, we are discussing isomerism, right? Okay, fine. So I think we had discussed about chain isomerism part. Yes, we have done. We have discussed functional isomerism. So today we shall just continue with that isomerism part. Okay. So today we shall discuss about another type of isomerism, which is known as a position isomerism. Position isomerism. Fine. So what is position isomerism? Let us discuss in detail. Right. So isomerism, as we have discussed before, okay, what are isomers? Isomers are compounds which have the same molecular formula but different properties. Right? Okay, we have categorized isomerism as structural and stereoisomerism. And structural isomerism, we are discussing chain, we have discussed functional. So today we shall be discussing about here position isomerism. Okay. So in position isomerism, remember in position isomerism, the isomers the isomers have the same functional group, right? They do not differ in functional group. They have the same functional group. Okay, they have the same functional group, but differs in the position of functional group. Right? Okay, so the isomers have the same functional group, but yes, they differ in the position of the functional group. Right? They differ in the position of the functional group. Okay. Acha. Okay, so let us see some examples. Okay, let us see some examples. So position isomerism means yes, they differ in the position of the functional group. Okay. As for example, say I write down the formula of an alcohol like CS3, CH2, CH2OH. Okay, we have a alcoholic functional group OH. Next, I have CH3, CH, OH, CH3. Okay, so now again, as I told you before, remember, hey, the isomers they should have different IUPAC name. Hey, if the IUPAC name is same, remember they are not considered to be isomers. Okay, so where do we start numbering from? We start numbering from that carbon atom so that the carbon bearing the functional group gets the highest priority or the lowest number. Right? So what root will be prop in propanol. So we eliminate the E. Why do we eliminate the E? Because it was a rule that if the secondary suffix begins with a vowel, the terminal E of the primary suffix should be dropped away. Now we should also indicate the position of the OH group. It is attached to which carbon? Number 1. So it will be propan 1 all. So 1 all indicates that the alcoholic functional group is attached to which position? It is attached to number 1. Okay. So similarly, what would be the IUPAC name of this? Say 1, 2, 3. What would be the IUPAC name? The IUPAC name would be propan. It's attached to which carbon? 2. Propan 12. So they have the same functional group. They have the same molecular formula. What is the molecular formula? C3H8O. Here also we have C3H8O. Same molecular formula, same functional group. But yes, they differ in the position of the functional group. They differ in the position of the functional group. Okay, here it is attached to number 1 carbon. Here it is attached to number 2 carbon. So these are position isomers. Right? These are position isomers. Got it? Is it understood? I think it's understood, right? So let me write down another example. Say CH3, CH2, CH double bond CH2. Okay. CH3, CH double bond CH. So see, the functional group or the nature of double bond is same in both the compounds. The molecular formula is also same. but yes, they differ in the position of the double bond. So here the double bond starts at number 1. Here the double bond starts at number 2. Okay. And what about the IUPAC name? Okay, so let us see what is the IUPAC name. Yes, we should indicate the position of double bond. It will be but 1 in. The double bond is starting at number 1 carbon atom. And what is the position of double bond? Number 2. So it will be but 2 in. But 1 in, and here but 2 in. So again, these are considered to be position isomers. They are position isomers. Okay. So remember, only when the functional group is same but the position of functional group are different, then they are considered to be position isomerism. Okay. So see, I'll give you one more example. Say CH3, C double bond O, CH2, CH2, CH3. Yes. Who can name the functional group out here? What is the functional group, by the way, out here? What is the functional group out here?
The ketone.
Ketone. Very good. Okay, very good. So what would be the name of this compound then? I start numbering from that carbon atom so that the functional group gets the lowest number. So yes, functional group is at second carbon. Here it is at 1, 2, 3. Yes. So what is the IUPAC name? Yes, tell me. Word root pent, carbon carbon single bond in, pentan double bond. Functional group starts at number 2, pentan 2 on. Okay, and this is here pentan 3 on. Fine. So these are examples of your position isomerism. So in your class 11, you just need to have a basic idea about the isomerism. Okay. So I think it's clear. Position isomerism is clear. Okay. So whenever the formula is same, whenever the functional group is same, if they just differ in the position of function group, then they are said to be position isomers. Okay, they exhibit position isomerism. Now let us see another type. Let us see another isomerism. Okay, so I think this is not there in your syllabus, but yes, you should learn this. Okay, it's better we know this. Okay, now see. It's known as metamerism. Metamerism. Okay, it's known as a metamerism. So what is metamerism? Again, they have the obviously isomerism means they have the same molecular formula. Same molecular formula. They have the same functional group. Fine. So what do they differ in? Remember, right? Okay, they differ in the nature of alkyl group attached. So they differ in the nature of alkyl group attached. So what does this mean? Okay, so I think if I give you some examples, that would be clear. Okay, now see, say what is the functional group of this compound? And by the way, what is the molecular formula? The molecular formula is C4. I think it's H10OA. So I think I've discussed in the earlier class. So what class of compounds does this represent? What class of compounds are these? Where the two alkyl groups are linked by an oxygen atom. They are said to be ethers. Remember last class में किया था हमने ethers. Okay, so the longest chain, both carbon atoms consist of the same chain. Both chain consist of the same carbon atoms. So this is named, the parent chain is derived from here. The parent word root is here ethane. And this is the alkoxy part. So which alkoxy this? Two carbon atom wala, it's named as here ethoxyethane. Okay, now I can write this as CH3O, CH2, CH2, CH3. Fine. I think the molecular formula is same. Yes. The functional group is same. Both are ethers. What do they differ in? They differ here. The two alkyl groups are two ethyl groups attached to oxygen. Here, one methyl and one propyl group is attached to oxygen. So they differ in the nature of alkyl group attached to your oxygen atom. So if they differ in the nature of alkyl group attached, then they are said to be metamersed. So yes, the word root is derived from the longest continuous carbon chain, prop. Okay, so this is the alkoxy part. Which alkoxy part is this? Methoxy. It's methoxy propane. Methoxy propane like this. So these class of compounds, okay, which just differs in the nature of alkyl group attached to the same functional group, are known as here metamers. They are known as here metamers. Fine. And what is the name of the isomerism? The isomerism is known as here metamerism. It's known as here metamerism. Okay. Now, say okay, so I'll discuss a little bit about this today. Okay, so whenever the functional group is in H2, which class of compounds are these? These are amines. These are amines, right? Okay, now when the nitrogen is attached to one alkyl group, it is known as a primary or 1-degree amine. Now, when the nitrogen is attached to two alkyl groups like this, okay, it's known as a 2-degree amine. And when the nitrogen is attached to three alkyl groups, when the nitrogen is attached to three alkyl groups, it's known as a tertiary amine. It's known as a tertiary amine. So there are three classes of amines. Right? Primary amine may we have a NH2 group, secondary amine may NH group, tertiary amine may we have N. Tertiary means the nitrogen is attached to three alkyl groups. Secondary means 2-degree means the nitrogen is attached to two alkyl groups. And primary means the nitrogen is just attached to one alkyl group. Okay, so if you have any issues, just let me know. Eh? So this comes under which category? Yes, this compound comes under which category? Nitrogen is attached to two alkyl groups. It's a 2-degree amine. Eh?
2 ml.
Very good. Okay, 2-degree amine. Now, I think the molecular formula is same. Is the molecular formula same? Yes. You can compare it. Okay. Is the functional group same? Yes. But what do they differ in? They differ in the nature of alkyl group. Here there are two ethyl groups. Here we have one methyl and one propyl group. Right? Now remember here also the longest continuous carbon chain, okay, determines the word root. So this will determine the word root. Right? Now one is considered as a substituent. So what is this? Ethyl attached to nitrogen. So we write down in ethyl ethane amine. But now it begins with a vowel. So this E will again be dropped. Ethanamine. Here the parent chain is derived from this prop. So this is a substituent methyl. So in methyl word root prop carbon carbon single bond in functional group amine in methyl propanamide. So these are again metamers. These are again metamers. Okay. So I think it's clear. The concept of metamerism is clear. So metamerism means same functional group. Okay, same molecular formula obviously. But yes, they differ in the nature of alkyl group attached to the same functional group. Right? So this pair of compounds are known as a metamers and the isomerism is known as a metamerism. And the isomerism is known as a metamerism. Okay. So this is all about a structural isomerism. It is all about a structural isomerism. Right? So today I'm not going to discuss about a stereoisomerism since that part I'll be discussing in details while doing the alkene chapter. So today I shall just discuss here another type of isomerism which is known as a confirmation. Okay, what do you mean by confirmation? Just a preliminary idea, right? Conformational isomerism. So it's there in your syllabus. So we'll discuss this. Conformational isomerism. Okay, so your syllabus, yes, what is given out here? We need to discuss nomenclature, isomerism part. Isomerism, we need to discuss the conformation as well. Okay, conformations as well. So let us discuss the conformation. What does this mean? So conformations, it arises again due to free rotation about carbon-carbon single bond. It arises due to what? It arises due to free rotation about a carbon-carbon single bond. So let me explain this thing. What does this mean? Okay, what does this mean? Now, for example, I'll just take an example of ethane molecule. Ethane molecule CH3, single bond again CH3. So how many carbon atoms do we have? We have two carbon atoms, and each carbon atom is bonded to three hydrogen atoms, and there is a bond between two carbon atoms. Okay, now listen very carefully and try to visualize as well. Try to visualize the thing. Okay, now see, I'll just try to show you with the help of this. So suppose we have a carbon atom, and suppose these are two carbon atoms bonded by a single bond like this. Each carbon atom, there are three hydrogen atoms like this. There are three hydrogen atoms. I'm just showing two, huh? There are atoms out here like this. There are atoms like this. Yes, each carbon atom is bonded to three hydrogen atoms. Right? Now, what happens in case of a saturated compound? Free rotation about a carbon-carbon bond is possible. Right? The carbon atoms can rotate like this. Right? So, as a result of rotation, these hydrogen atoms, they acquire different position in space like this, right? They acquire different position. See, they are just bang opposite to each other. If I just rotate this, they are 30-degree, 60-degree, 90-degree, 120-degree, okay, 180-degree. Free rotation is possible, right? So the different arrangement which arises due to free rotation, the different arrangement which arises due to free rotation is known as a conformations, and the isomers are known as a conformers. So remember, conformational isomerism, it arises due to carbon-carbon single bond rotation. Okay, so they can rotate. The atoms can rotate like this about a single bond. And as a result, when the atoms rotate, the hydrogen atoms will also rotate along with it. So as a result, they acquire different position with respect to each other. And these different position isomerism. This is an entirely new concept. Okay, so if you have any problem, you can just ask me. Okay. Now, in order to understand this conformational isomerism, okay, we can depict the formula of a compound by a different formula which is known as here Newman projection formula. What is the name of the formula? So earlier, what had we done? We have done here condensed formula, we have done the structural formula, we have done bone line formula. So similarly, there is a formula, there is another way in which you can represent an organic molecule. Okay, and that formula is known as a Newman projection formula. Okay, now see, you must have questions, right? Okay, so how many carbon atoms are there, guys? In ethane, let me take just ethane, simplest case. How many carbon atoms are there in ethane? How many
Two.
carbon atoms? Two. Okay. So one of the carbon atom is represented by a dot like this. This represents a carbon atom. Right? Can you see the dot? Yes. This represents a carbon atom, and another carbon atom is represented by a circumference of a circle like this. So this also represents one carbon atom. This represents another carbon atom. Got it? Fine. Am I clear? Now each carbon is bonded to how many hydrogen atoms? Yes, tell me. Each carbon is bonded to how many hydrogen atoms?
3.
3. So it might happen. It might happen. So there is one end of a carbon, there is another end. Right? So we have a hydrogen attached to one carbon. We have a hydrogen attached to one carbon. What is the angle between them? What is the angle between them right now? Can you see? What is the angle between them?
90 degree.
Very good. What is the angle between them?
0
0
degree.
degree. Very good. Excellent. What is the angle between them? 180 degree.
180.
What is the angle between them? 60 degree. Fine. So rotation हो रहा है ना? Due to rotation, infinite angles are possible, right? But we won't study that infinite angles. Okay. So one possibility is that the this represents the 3 hydrogen atom of this carbon atom. Eh? So this is hydrogen. This is hydrogen. This is hydrogen. So this is the back carbon atom. So the hydrogen atoms may be at an angle of, the angle is represented by theta. Here the angle which is known as a dihedral angle. Right? Dihedral angle. Theta is equal to 0 degree. Okay, so this is one conformations of ethane. Okay, the way the dihedral angle is 0 degree. Now you rotate, you keep one of the carbon atom fixed. ये carbon atom को मैं fix रखूंगा. Let us rotate this carbon atom by 30 degree. We are rotating through which angle? 30 degree. Okay, fine. So we have this. So I'm keeping this fixed. We have H, we have H, we have H. Fine, I'm keeping this fixed. एक को fix रख रहा हूँ, दूसरा rotate हो रहा है, right? Now I'm rotating this by 30 degree means where will this hydrogen come? 30 degree means it will come out here. 30 degree means this hydrogen will come out here. This hydrogen will come out here. And what is the dihedral angle? What is the dihedral angle? It's here 30 degree. The dihedral angle is here 30 degree. Okay, what is the dihedral angle? The dihedral angle is here 30 degree. Okay. Again, if I rotate from here by 30 degree, where will this come? Again, we'll get the same confirmation. I think this will come out here just like this. This will go out here just like this. So there are two extreme conformations of ethane. One at a dihedral angle of 0 degree, the other at a dihedral angle of 30 degree. Okay. And the one where the dihedral angle is 0 degree, it is known as a eclipsed conformation. It is known as a eclipsed conformation. It's known as a eclipsed conformation. Eclipsed conformation means where the dihedral angle is 0 degree. Eclipsed means, now if I keep like this, when they are at an angle of 0 degree, so eclipsed means actually this hydrogen CH is eclipsed by this, covered by this, it is eclipsed by this. That mention is, and this conformation having an angle of 30 degree, this is known as a staggered conformation. It's known as a staggered, S-T-A-G-G-E-R-E-D, staggered conformations. So how many conformations of ethane are possible? I'm just doing a ethane part. Okay, this is छोड़ दो. It's not included, so just preliminary idea. Okay. So one is eclipse, other is a staggered. Okay, now see, listen again. It's an entirely new concept. Now see, In case of an eclipsed conformation, the two CH bond, CH bond, they are bang opposite to each other, right? Right? So what happens as a result, we have two electrons out here. Bond matlab दो electron है, यहाँ पर दो electron है. So since they are close to each other, they will suffer. They will, the bond pair of electrons, they will repel each other. Right? There is a repulsion between the bond pair of electrons. However, when they are at an angle of 30 degree, what do you think will happen? The repulsion will be more or less. Now the bond pair of electrons are quite far away. So what will happen to the repulsion? The repulsion is quite less. Right? Okay. So repulsion maximum kahan par hoga? Eclipse. That is why if we talk about the stability, okay, then we can say the staggered conformation, is more stable than a eclipsed. Eclipse means the two hydrogen atoms are very close to each other. So these electron and this bond pair of electron, they repel each other. Whereas in staggered conformation, they are quite far away from each other like this. They are quite far away from each other, right? So they will experience less repulsion. So repulsion means yes, they are unstable. So due to repulsion, the eclipse conformation is less stable than a staggered conformation. Okay, but we can also express this in terms of energy. Okay, so here since the eclipse conformation faces more repulsion, we say the eclipse conformation has greater energy. Greater energy means less stability, than a staggered conformation. Okay. Got it? So these are the two extreme conformations of ethane molecule. Okay, we are trying to represent the molecule by a different formula known as a Newman
Sir,
projection
there
formula.
are only two possibilities.
Ethane में there are only two possibilities. Ethane में there are only two possibilities. क्यों? तुम करो, खुद करो ना. Again इसको तो fix, we are keeping this fixed. You rotate this by 30 degree again. Where will this hydrogen come? It will come out here, na, again. Same as this. Got it? We keep on
Okay,
rotating by 30 degree, 30 degree. In case of ethane, there are only two possibilities. Now, what happens is one is less stable, the other is more stable. Okay, and some energy is required for rotation. Okay, some energy is required for rotation. And this energy which is required for rotation is known as a torsional energy. It's known as a torsional energy, a torsional barrier, the barrier to rotation. ऐसे तो convert नहीं होगा. It's rotating means some energy is required. So the molecule tend to exist in more stable. Yes, molecule. If you have a sample of ethane molecule, majority of ethane molecules will exist in a staggered conformation. Why? Because it is stable. But yes, some energy is required to change the angle from eclipse to staggered conformation, and this energy is known as a torsional energy. Ethane molecule, this energy is very low. The energy required for rotation is very low. At room temperature only, the molecule will gain enough energy to get interconverted from one conformation to another conformation. Okay, so they do not differ much in energy. The torsional energy is very less. Okay, although yes, we can say staggered conformation का energy कम है, इसका ज़्यादा है, लेकिन the energy difference is quite low. Okay, so therefore in your syllabus only ethane molecule has been discussed, but yes, let us just try to visualize another molecule as well. Okay, so but as far as your exams are concerned, you need to concentrate only on ethane molecule. Okay, so ethane molecule has how many conformation? It has two conformation. One at a dihedral angle of 0 degree eclipsed, the other at a dihedral angle of 30 degree. It is as a staggered conformation. Okay. So yes, you don't have much in your syllabus. Only ethane is there. Okay. Now, but let me just discuss this in butane. Conformation of butane. N-butane. Okay, we have N-butane molecule. Now let me mark these two carbon atoms. Let me mark this two carbon atoms. Okay. So there are two carbon. Each carbon is bonded to this carbon is bonded to two hydrogen like this, and one methyl group. Right? Fine. This carbon is bonded to two hydrogen and one methyl group. This carbon is bonded to again one methyl and two hydrogen atom. Again here the dihedral angle is with respect to this 0 degree. Okay, now you keep one fixed and rotate the other by 30 degree. You keep one fixed, एक को फिक्स रखो दूसरा को 30 डिग्री से रोटेट करो. चलो. So I am keeping this fixed. Huh? I am keeping this fixed. Now I am rotating this by 30 degree means where will this methyl come here? Fine. What is the dihedral angle? 30 degree. Got it? The dihedral angle is here 30 degree. Again you do the same thing. You keep this fixed. I am keeping this fixed. Again I am rotating this by 30 degree means this methyl will come out here now. Okay, 30 degree means this hydrogen will go out here and this hydrogen will go out here. So dihedral angle is 60 degree. Got it? Again from here you rotate this by 60 degree, 30 degree. इसको मैं fix रख रहा हूँ. I'm not changing the position of this carbon. CH3HH. Same. Now 30 degree means this methyl will come out here. You just visualize 30 degree means this hydrogen will go out here. 30 degree means this hydrogen is going to come out here. So what is the dihedral angle out here? Dihedral angle with respect to two methyl groups, it's how much? Okay, just a minute. Hey. Sorry. I'm sorry. This is 60 degree. Sorry, I'm so sorry. This is 60 degree. Rotate by 60 degree. This is not 30. Sorry, 30 would be much less. 60 degree. फिर 60 degree means ये हुआ तुम्हारा 120 degree. And here it is 180 degree. Okay, rotate by 60 degree, not 30. Again, इसको 60 degree से rotate करोगे तो this will come out here. We'll get this type of conformations again. So in case of N-butane, how many conformation do we see? Ethane में तो दो ही मिला. Butane में how many? We get 4. Okay, now the two methyl groups are just 180 degrees. So this is known as an anti-conformation. It's known as an anti-conformation. Anti-conformation. Here the two methyl groups are eclipsed. So it's known as a fully eclipsed. Why? Because the two big methyl groups there are two big methyl groups which are opposite to each other, so they'll repel more, fully eclipsed. Here also it is eclipsed, but what are eclipsed? One methyl group and one small hydrogen. So this is just known as eclipsed. Here the two methyl groups are at an angle of 60 degrees, so this is known as a gauche conformation, Gauche. So there are 4 conformations of butane. You can give it a try. Again 160 degrees से rotate करो. I think you'll get Gauche conformation. Again एक conformation repeat होता रहेगा, right? So you keep on rotating by 60 degree until you attain an angle of 360 degree. So I just wanted to give you a preliminary idea about the conformations. Okay, so this is how we draw the conformations. Okay, we represent the two carbon atoms by a circle and a dot, and we draw the bonds like this. Okay, and we keep one of the carbon atom fixed, we rotate the other by 60 degree. So these are the different conformations. Okay. So please keep in mind the conformations of ethane molecule, that is more important. Okay, fine. Now, so we have, yes, we have finished conformations. Okay, so geometrical isomerism I'll do in the alkene chapter. I'm not going to do it right now. Okay, I'm going to just do in the alkene chapter. So see, as far as your CBSE syllabus is concerned, okay, I don't see any preparation part out here. Eh? So alkanes may just in your syllabus it is mentioned. We have nomenclature, we have your isomerism, we have your conformation. Then straight away we have physical and chemical properties of alkanes. Physical and chemical properties of alkanes. Okay. Okay. So next topic would be physical and chemical properties of alkanes. So we will be studying a very important topic today. Okay, so we shall start with the chemical properties of alkanes. Hey, physical property we बाद में करवाऊंगा. So alkanes, okay, they undergo what type of reaction? They undergo substitution reaction. Hey. They undergo substitution reactions. Okay. So let us take an example of methane molecule. So what do you mean by substitution reaction? Substitution, I think we have studied now. Substitution reactions means where the hydrogen atom is substituted by other atom or group of atoms. Okay. So number one, we shall study about a chlorination. When methane molecule is treated with chlorine in the presence of diffused sunlight, not direct but diffuse sunlight, this is the condition. It takes place in the presence of sunlight. And what are these reactions known as, which takes place in presence of light? Yes, what are these reactions known as? For example, photosynthesis. No, it's a chemical reaction. It takes place in the presence of sunlight. What are these class of reaction known as? Yes, the reaction which occurs in the presence of light. These are known as a photochemical reactions. Photo is derived from photon. Photon means what we have known. Photon means light. Okay, so this takes place in presence. So what happens? How many hydrogen atom are there? There are 4 hydrogen atom. So in the presence of diffuse sunlight, one of the hydrogen will get substituted by chlorine. We get methyl chloride. What do we get? We get methyl chloride plus one hydrogen and one chlorine atom will form HCl. But remember, the reaction does not stop out here. So methyl chloride, again it reacts with chlorine, again under the same condition. So what, there are 3 more hydrogens. So one more hydrogen gets substituted by chlorine. So CH2, Cl2 plus HCl. Again, the reaction does not stop out here. So we have 2 more hydrogen which can get substituted, CH2, Cl2. Again, it reacts with chlorine in the presence of light. So one more hydrogen gets substituted by chlorine plus HCl. Fine. So until and unless all the hydrogen atom are substituted, the reaction will go on until and unless all the hydrogen See, we were discussing about your substitution reactions. Okay, we were discussing about your substitution reactions. Okay, substitution reaction में number one, I'll be discussing about here chlorination. Chlorination means reaction with chlorine. Chlorination means reaction with chlorine. Okay, fine. Chlorination means here reaction with chlorine. So I'll take an example of methane. So remember, chlorination, it occurs in the presence of diffused sunlight. And the reaction which takes place in the presence of light are known as a photochemical reaction. Photo means it is derived from the word photon, meaning light. For example, photosynthesis. It's an example of a photochemical reaction. So how many hydrogen atoms are there? We have 4 hydrogen atoms. So substitution means the hydrogen atom, one of the hydrogen atom will get substituted by chlorine. And the hydrogen atom which has been substituted and one chlorine atom will form HCl. Okay, so this is an example of a substitution reaction. This is an example of a substitution reaction. Okay, one hydrogen has been substituted by chlorine. But remember, the reaction does not stop out here. So how many more hydrogen do we have out here? How many hydrogen do we have? More. Yes? We have, how many hydrogen is left now? 3.
3.
So 3 more hydrogen is left. So out of 3, again 2 will be left and the other one will again get substituted by chlorine. So the other product will be HCl. Again, the reaction does not stop out here. So we have CH2, Cl2. Again, it will react with chlorine in the presence of light. So 2 more hydrogen are left. So out of the 2, one will be left and the other will get substituted by chlorine. Okay. So we have CHCl3. So unless and until all the hydrogen are substituted, this reaction will go on. So this is an example of a substitution reaction. So how many products are found? 4. So it's known as your chloromethane. Okay, 2 chlorine, so it's dichloromethane. Here we have 3 hydrogens, so it's known as a trichloromethane, or it is also known as a chloroform. So it's commonly known as a carbon tetrachloride. It's known as a carbon tetrachloride. So there are 4 products are formed. Right? We have chloromethane, we have dichloromethane, we have chloroform or trichloromethane. Okay, so this is the reaction with chlorine. A condition can diffuse sunlight. Fine. Now, second, yes, substitution can occur with bromine, and the reaction is known as a bromination reaction. Now, remember, bromination, it is similar to chlorination. It is similar to chlorination, but takes place less readily. It occurs slowly. Chlorination occurs at a faster rate. Bromination, similar products will be formed, but the only difference is it occurs slowly. Okay, it takes place less readily. Fine. So nothing much to discuss. Same type of product, just difference of CH3Br. Instead of chlorine, we have bromine. The third one is quite important. It's known as iodination. It's known as an iodination reaction. So remember, iodination may just write it down. The reaction with iodine is slow and reversible. Acha. Now, what do you mean by this term reversible reaction? What do you mean by this term reversible reaction? What is a reversible reaction? Yes, any one of you? Now, normally in a chemical reaction, the reactants proceed to give us product A. But there are some reactions where the products will give you back the reactant A. The reactant will give you the product, but the product will again give you back the react. These are known as the reversible reactions. And reversible reactions are shown by half-headed arrows like this. This represents a reversible reaction. Okay. So reaction with iodine, why is it so important? Because it's different for the other two. So reaction with iodine is slow and it is reversible. So we get CH3I, only one product, plus HIA. So the product will again give you back the reactant. And one more important thing to be noted out here, this reaction takes place in the presence of an oxidizing agent such as a HiO3. Okay, so questions does come from this topic. So the reaction occurs in presence of an oxidizing agent such as HiO3. Why? Why does the reaction occurs in the presence of this oxidizing agent? Okay. Now, what does this oxidizing agent do? HiO3 will react with Hi. Which Hi? The product Hi, and it oxidizes it to molecular iodine. So, what is the role of the oxidizing agent? Okay, so HiO3 removes Hi. How does it remove? By oxidizing it. By oxidizing it, Hi is getting oxidized to what? Hi is getting oxidized to iodine. By oxidizing it to iodine, thereby preventing the backward reaction. Now see, if you don't remove this Hi, then what will happen? This Hi will again combine with methyl iodide to give you back the reactant. Okay, so in order to prevent this backward reaction, Hi must be removed. So how is Hi removed? Hi is removed by the oxidizing agent. This oxidizing agent, iodic acid, it will oxidize Hi to molecular iodine. And what is the why? Why do we need to do this? Because if Hi is not removed, then backward reaction will take place. So to prevent this backward reaction, okay, we use a strong oxidizing agent such as the iodic acid. Okay, so yes, we have discussed chlorination in details. We have discussed about a bromination, and we have discussed about a iodination, and these are quite important. Iodination is quite important. Now, you must be wondering, so what about your fluorine? So remember, reaction with fluorine is extremely rapid. It is so vigorous that explosion might occur. Okay, so reaction with fluorine is extremely vigorous. It's dangerous. It might be explosive as well. Fine. So yes, we have chlorination, diffuse sunlight, bromination occurs but quite slowly, but iodination is extremely slow and the reaction is reversible. And one more point to be noted is that to prevent the backward reaction, we use a oxidizing agent. We use an oxidizing agent. Okay. So what does the oxidizing agent do? It removes the Hi, thereby preventing the backward reaction. So here I just discussed taking an example of your methane. So yes, you must be wondering, so what about other alkanes? So does only methane undergo substitution reaction? No. I'm taking an example of methane, but all alkanes undergoes here substitution reaction with halogens. Okay, not only methane, all other alkanes. So I'll just give you a brief idea. So at this level, I think you need to know this. Acha. Okay, so I think it's 2-methyl butane, whatever IUPAC name. Now there are different types of hydrogen. Now tell me which hydrogen will get substituted. There are so many different hydrogen. Methane may to only one type of hydrogen were there, but here there are different types of hydrogen. So which hydrogen do you think will get substituted? Different types of hydrogen means I think we have done this, no? So this carbon is directly attached to only one carbon. So it's a 1 degree carbon. It's attached to only one carbon, 1 degree carbon. It's attached to 3 carbon, 3 degree. It's attached to 2 degree. There is 1 degree. Yes, we have done this, right? So these are primary hydrogen atom. These are primary hydrogen. This is a tertiary hydrogen atom. This is a secondary hydrogen atom. This is a primary hydrogen atom. So here, I mean, different types of hydrogen means these type of different hydrogen. Different types of hydrogen means is hydrogen are same. Different types of hydrogen meaning they are attached. Some are primary hydrogen, some are secondary hydrogen, some are tertiary hydrogen. So remember the order of reactivity. Just remember this much. We won't go into details. The order of reactivity of hydrogen atoms. So the order of reactivity of hydrogen atoms. So what will be the order of reactivity of hydrogen atoms? Remember, tertiary hydrogen atom are most reactive. So which hydrogen atom has a greater tendency to get substituted? Tertiary hydrogen. Okay, tertiary hydrogen will have greater substitution. It has more chances of getting substituted. It is more reactive. Followed by secondary hydrogen, followed by primary hydrogen atom, followed by primary. So this is the order of reactivity of different hydrogen atoms. Okay, so